passed on to the,
Yeah.
you know,
All right.
you know, the
Besides writing,
teenagers of this
what's
country.
another idea?
Well, I thought about doing something in like the spoken arts, like coding, something like that. Unfortunately, I just don't know where to begin with something like that.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I can get you there. Is there anything else?
Well, everybody, welcome back to the Trig podcast of Jolly and Goso TV on this beautiful Friday, as we like to call it here. Good morning. My name is David Trig, here to help you to match your talents to your career from a godly perspective. As a man of God, as a woman of God, you are at midlife, you are a professional, you have a lot of skills, but you want to amplify, magnify, you want to just be able to make more money, bless your church, your family, and do what God has called you to do. But how do we do that here in 2021? Well, I want to give you 5 tips on what to do to match your talents to your career. Call in. Number on the screen is 646-6764, 646-6764. Let's talk about it so we can help you find your true purpose in life, no matter your past, no matter your current state, no matter what pandemic or what. God has a great purpose for your life, but we have to match your talents to your career. After the break, we're going to then go through 4 steps, 3 and a bonus, on how you can actually do that. Make sure you call in. The number on the screen, 646-6764. This is the David Trigg Show, a call-in show. Let's talk about it. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Well, welcome back to the David Trigg Show, everybody. It goes for the whole family here on this beautiful Friday. 3 tips on how to match your talents to your career. Number 1, think about your skills and your past, basically, the skills that you have used in the past. So I have a friend who has always enjoyed fitness. Before her current unemployment, she used to be a personal trainer. But before that, she always has loved music and singing. And so we're helping her to match those skills from music to fitness, nutrition, to develop a online restaurant, something where she can actually sing to customers as she delivers food. And so matching two of her skills to actually create a brand new opportunity here in 2021. Number two is talk to people who know you, asking them what they think you are good at. This is very obviously very typical, or very you kind of know exactly the importance of this. But this advice is very important because at 2021, here in 2021, people can see where things are headed and may be able to provide insight that you and I may not have. Ask not just your husband, your wife, your best friend. Ask people that hardly know you. Especially ask people that just met you. Ask people that hardly know you. And just, I know this can be like really weird. How would you do that? You can just say, maybe not the first time you meet them, but maybe the second, third time, and say, hey, I'm trying to find a new job, a new career in 2021. And here's some of the things that I'm into. I'm into music, I'm into writing, I'm into construction. And so the person's like, okay, now just from these few interactions, what do you think I would be best at? They may be like, well, I don't know. And then you can just sort of say, well, I enjoy working with my hands. I enjoy writing. I enjoy thinking all day long. Just get a sense from people on what they enjoy or what they like about you. Hello, Mother Nature. Greetings. Hello. Thanks for being here. Always a pleasure. Just ask them a little bit about who they think you are, your personality, your quirks. Talk to people who know you. The third tip is identify your skills on your own or with a partner. Identify your actual skills with someone that you love or on your own. And this is as simple as writing them down, coming up with a list, and then rank them by the thing that you can make the most money through. So we all have skills, we all have talents. You have to match them with what are the actual viable opportunities out there for you to have a viable career. Thank you, Mother Nature. So you want to do these three things in order. So number one, again, these are the kind of some quick tips, very logical, very simple, on how to match your skills to your career. Number one is think about the skills you have used in the past. But these are things, remember, that are transferable. So it doesn't have to be a career for career transaction. There are more soft and hard skills. Soft skills are, I love working with people. Hard skills would be, I know how to use QuickBooks. So think about your skills and begin to come up with a plan on the things that you seem to gravitate more towards. Number two is talk to people who know you. And as I said, yes, talk to people who know you really well. But I always recommend talk to people who hardly know you. Maybe that, how we all have that neighbor who always says hi to us, or you always greet on the way out. Say, hey, Joe, you've known me now for a few years here in the neighborhood, or maybe you hardly know me. It's even better. What do you think I would be best at? Who do I seem to you? How do I come across to you? And that's an awkward question for most people. So you want to prepare them and say, I'm looking for a new job. I'm trying to figure out my new career steps. And I just want to get some fresh input from people that hardly know me or that are new to me. And people would be, imagine if someone came up to you and asked you that. You know how you have that neighbor? Now reverse the roles. You know how you have that neighbor who you've seen, maybe they moved into the neighborhood maybe 3 months ago. Maybe you are that person. If they came up to you and said, hey, Joe, or whatever, hey, Janine, I'm thinking of finding a new career path. And, I've been here now 3 months. What do you think I would be best at? And they may ask you, well, tell me about your career, what are you into, blah, blah. But the point is that is very fresh input because it reflects things that you already know about yourself, but maybe you have forgotten. And then number three is identify your skills on your own or with a trusted friend. And this is now where it gets a little more professional, where you begin to actually think through. No, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, my dear friend, Mother Nature. Thank you. God bless you as well. And so identify your skills on your own or with a career coach or with a trusted friend. And this is now where you begin to work with someone who can help you come up with a Venn diagram. Remember those Venn diagrams back in high school where you have your talents, your skills, you have your past, and you can begin to find that synergy, that middle space, and to begin to then attach it or connect it to actual careers, to actual things that are out there. Now, I'm a big advocate of the online space. That is where I have found you could say, in my second or third or fourth life. I don't know how many lives I've lived. We've all lived so many lives. But I have found, and this is what I mostly work with, is that the online space is a very, very important, and it's almost like a new frontier in terms of career. And I don't think that people still recognize, even here at the end of 2020, the gold mine at the online space, especially if you are at midlife or beyond, even young people. They often think that unless you are a famous YouTuber or unless you are an Instagram model, that you might as well forget it. I study all kinds of content creators. I am a content creator myself. And you have to think about, back to skills, who you really are. Not everyone who's online, and this is my story, is a YouTuber or, for example, a famous star like Casey Neistat or whoever, right? Some of us, and this may be you, this may not be you, are coaches to people that are going to be the stars. You might be a star. You might enjoy this is a little bit of my story, kind of doing your own thing. But maybe on the online space, you might be a star or you might be a coach. Those are at least, if not, maybe there are more like 3 or 4 things. There are different ways that you can be, quote, online famous or successful online than just being a star. You can be a star coach. You can be a coach star. You can be someone who's not even online, who is doing all the behind the scenes work for example, someone who's producing somebody else's show, or someone who's doing the email newsletters of that famous, quote, celebrity or online personality. So the online space is still so untapped because we've mostly just seen one kind of success story, either the Gary V's or the Instagram models as far as success. Podcasting, live streaming, interviewing, getting sponsors, developing a brand, trust, that know, like, and trust can be developed through podcasting. For example, just a little bit of my story, I have received more phone calls and more job or client opportunities by being here every day, by being here daily, no matter if it's 1 or 0 people, because people see the quality of the show. They see the personality behind the microphone, the likability that I know, like I said, know, like, and trust. I trust this person. I like him. I know who he is. I've seen the pictures of his family. He seems like a normal guy. And through that relationship, regardless of stardom or not, which is mostly what people think of when it comes to the online space, I have gotten more clients through that, even though I'm not a YouTube star, nor do I even pursue that because, going back to the first 3 steps, I know my skill set. I know where I can be the personality. And so the same thing applies to you. And this is part of the coaching that I do, is as you learn who you are in the online space, you begin to find your niche. You begin to find your groove. Because if you're like me, like most creatives, you've been trying stuff now for years. You've been doing the online stuff, or you've been trying to get some business off the ground, and you've gone through the ups and downs, especially maybe this year. But that's mostly because the coaching that we're receiving, meaning watching a ton of content, is skewed just one way, is one-dimensional. But if you can begin to see outside the star model or the influencer model or the high numbers model, you can truly begin to find a path for yourself. And that is what I like to do here with people. And to being able to do the thing that you love to do, and to find a career path in that so that you can follow your dreams and actually see your skills and your passion being used out there in the online space. I think that other career paths that are out there is to be able to use all of this Amazon and ordering that's happening online maybe not necessarily to deliver it yourself. I mean, that could be a thing, but to, let's just say, for example, like one of the things that I'm helping people, they have space, maybe their office spaces are now empty. I'm I'm counseling people, coaching people to rent that space to Amazon entrepreneurs. Now, you might want to be that person who is that Amazon or UPS or FedEx person who needs space or who would like to have space so that you can then develop your own side hustle. And there you could have maybe a garage or an empty room where you could rent that space to somebody that is growing. My point is, you don't have to always be the person in the front or behind or 3 rows back. There is a whole, you could say, a planet around success. And a lot of the person that are complementary to that star can be very successful if you know your place for now in this space, in this time. I think partnering with people that have the gifts that you don't have takes a lot of humility, but it really is the way to scale your skill set. Partnering with people that are better at things than you. Now, how do you know that they're better? It's because when they talk to you about their thing, you're just pumped. You say, you know what? She's right. Wow. And it's not that you couldn't have thought of that. Like my friend says, mental assent isn't genius. It's just that you can understand it, but it doesn't mean that you can own it. You own something else. So when someone speaks into your life and you're thinking, wow, man, that is right. Don't be tricked into thinking that that's what you're great at. Instead, realize that that's what that person's amazing at, and you might need that person as a partner, as a coach, just as a mentor, just someone to follow. We all have people that we follow online. And whereas before or even now, we think of them as examples or maybe as gurus, or I want to be like them, or even worse, oh, well, they only have 1 person or they only have 100 followers. I have more. Instead of seeing people as a number on a screen, think, forget the numbers, forget all that, and think of their skill set and how they can actually benefit you. My partner, my business partner, she doesn't even have an online presence. She's nowhere to be found. But when she and I began to work on Trig Media, along with our daughter Canela, my daughter Canela, the 3 of us, it's stuff that it's just like magic. And she has no online presence. And if she was out to, or if I was looking at her and say, well, how many Instagram followers, how many people on YouTube? Well, nobody watches your streams, Trig. If I was to judge her or to see her through that filter, I wouldn't even talk to her. But because the skills that she has, when we get on the phone or when we do Zoom calls or when we used to meet are so complementary to me, I think I need to keep going with this relationship because our partnership actually makes us both better. And so you want to think outside the bun, as a commercial used to say. Don't look at numbers on a screen to measure the value of someone that you need in your life. I almost see it as, I think was a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to my doctor just to refill some meds. And of course, it's through Zoom, right? Now, on that Zoom call, I didn't see any of her diplomas. I know she has them. I didn't see her name saying MD. I know she's an MD. I definitely didn't see any numbers right at the bottom of the screen saying there are 3,000 people. I mean, that would be weird to see that. It was all based on know, like, and trust. I know this person, I like her, and I trust her because she is a doctor. So you want to think differently about partnerships, about your skill set, about who to work with. And you almost have to, eliminate this one trick pony that we've fallen into for these last 10 years of numbers and how successful is someone online. If someone looked at my numbers, they would not want to work with me because they would say, well, you're no one. I don't mean personally before God. I'm not looking for empathy. I'm just talking about models and systems in our brains and how our minds work and perceive things on a screen. But the people that have worked with me, whether it's media, whether it's coaching, whether it's podcasting, they leave my little planet thinking, I am going to make more money now because of this guy. I'm going to actually change my career path because of our conversation. But if that person, that client or that congregant, if it's something at church, would look at my numbers, my success online, they would miss out. Same thing, same goes for you. Same goes with partnerships that you have. Same goes with even seeing your own success or lack of success as descriptive or prescriptive of your skill set because you don't have the numbers, or maybe you're stuck at 3,000 followers or 1,000 subs or whatever it is. Instead of saying, okay, why am I stuck, and looking at the famous people as the only barometer, why don't you kind of like pivot, as they say, or turn that diamond and say, what is my true value here? Is it that person who comes into my atmosphere leaves thinking about how to find a new career path? Or they come out here wanting to buy or wanting to value becoming vegan. And so you're thinking more about the value that you provide, the skill sets that you bring to the table, and then you can take that person offline, talk to them on the phone. Remember those days? Email with them. With my business partner, I've known her we've worked together for maybe 3 years. We email, text, leave voicemails for each other, Zoom calls. We used to meet. We used to work together. We're still working together, just not in person. It's a whole relationship and connection that isn't just based on numbers. When she looks at my product, when we were first getting to know each other, she was drawn to my content, or not to my content, to me, because of what she saw online, just in terms of value, just in terms of quality, not the numbers, not the how many people in a little eye, or little eye in wherever, or how many people are watching now. None of that mattered to her, nor does it matter to me again. And our partnership has made us both very successful, has helped us to not get low, and especially in these times, which we've been through, has helped us to work through any of whatever, just the ups and downs of a business. And it's very important right now to look beyond what we're used to as far as the metrics that we use these days, which are numbers and likes and comments, and to stop looking at that kind of guru or metric as the only thing that counts. What about your coaching? What about your knowledge? What about the things maybe in your house that you love to create? What about the relationships that you've built that could be an example? How about, I'm just spitballing here as I say, some people bring their pets on their online content. And of course, everybody loves pets. But it's not even about, oh, look at that cute dog, which I love dogs. But it's about, that tells me something about that person, right? So I'm not talking about here are the skills or here are the little, tricks and dog and pony show that you can do to again, become more famous. I'm talking about deconstructing the fame narrative or the fame path or method or model that we have out there, and building your own path to success, building your own metric, which might be, and probably at this point is different than the success, the viral video, the whatever metric. It's almost like a basketball player. You think of the Ball family. I love the Lakers. And LeVar Ball has 3 sons. If you don't know basketball, just a quick overview here. He has 3 sons. They went to UCLA. They played in Lithuania. And now they're all in the NBA. But one is with his third team and kind of a bench player, maybe not. The second one was picked third in the NBA draft just a few weeks ago, and he's playing with, I think, North Carolina. And then the third son is on a 1-year unsigned or unrestricted, or what do they call that? Not guaranteed contract with, I think, Dallas? I forget. Meaning they're all in the NBA, but at different levels. Now, because the metric that we all use is, well, who's making the most money and who's the most famous, you really could say that none of them are at that level. None of them are really that successful, LeBron or Jordan back in the days, or Kobe. But when you think of LeVar Ball, the dad, you think, and I think, of course, us parents, imagine having all three of my kids in the NBA, or all studying in college, or all having wonderful relationships and marriages. How would that make me feel? Even if, let's say, one is married to a contractor, one's married to a lawyer, one's married to a nonprofit leader. It wouldn't matter, right? My point with all this is when you look at what success means to you, you want to look at the values that you hold, what you're actually producing that matters. And I guess the encouragement is what you are producing, it matters to someone. Even if the metric of numbers and likes isn't what you, what you want it to be. So after the break, we're going to break down a little bit more of what this looks like. We'll take in some phone calls. Call the number on the screen, 646-6764. Don't go anywhere. The David Trig Show. We will be right back. So welcome back, my dear friends, to the David Trig Show, the Trig podcast of Joy and Gozo TV, on this lovely Friday morning, talking about how to match your talents to your skill set. And we were talking before the break about the importance of changing your narrative, changing your metric from being the person who needs to see a certain number of likes or success, or to lose so many pounds, to feel and to know your worth, to know your skill set, and changing that metric to something that is more real, more tangible, that maybe doesn't easily show up online. And so we're talking about the importance of knowing yourself. To thyself be true, right? Know thyself, said Aristotle. Very important for us all to live in our truth, especially these days, because to be famous, or to be like that famous YouTuber, that famous star on TV, is important. Sure, it motivates us, but you have to then get back within yourself. You have to know yourself, and to realize that there's such a talent and something so beautiful about who you are that was given to you by God that maybe isn't being seen by you or by people that you love, or certainly by your business, by your success that you long for. And we're talking about partnerships and the importance of partnering with someone, regardless of whether they are YouTube famous or whether they are Instagram famous or not, but to really look at the skills that you have and to say, okay, these are the skills that I don't have, that I need. So let me partner with someone. Let me work out a deal where it's whatever it is, 50-50, or we're not going to pay each other or pay the company until we make money. You want to obviously think through all those options. When it comes to the nonprofit world, then it's a little different, because you obviously start with collaboration. It's not a solopreneur thing. Nonprofits, obviously, churches or schools or just your, I don't know, your farmer's market or your thrift shop. You obviously want to work more around a mission, more around a vision about where are we going, who are we helping. And so you immediately want to partner with people, and everyone understands that, okay, there's no money here. It's maybe just a part-time job. But even in the nonprofit world, which of course I've been a part of in terms of churches my whole life, you really want to, in many ways, the nonprofit world teaches us, has taught me, how to work with people that are not there for a paycheck, and how to keep people excited, motivated, what to do. Like in this year, when people aren't there, how do you motivate them? So you may have skills that you don't even realize you have, because the online space is so one-dimensional. But those skills are still there. Those skills are very important. And you want to be able to maximize those skills by, as I said, using the good old neighbor kind of, trick or tool to ask your neighbor, hey, what do you think of me? You've seen me, you know me a little bit. We're not best friends or anything. Maybe we're just acquaintances, but you know a little bit about me. What do you think are my skills, my soft skills, my hard skills? And you don't obviously just go with whatever they say, but you tuck it into your mind. You say, okay, that's interesting. Because people that hardly know us, but that have been observing us for a few months, a neighbor, a friend, they have maybe an undistorted, in a more clear view of who we really are. And that's not even who we really are. We're not hiding anything, but maybe how we present to the world. Because when you go on an interview or you do something online and someone watches you for the first time, that's how they're perceiving you for the first time. And so all that stuff is very important for us to think through and to comment on and to just meditate on, I guess, for a little bit. So this is a call-in show, the David Trig Show. I'd love to take your calls here at this number, 6764. There it went. And you can use WhatsApp, your regular phone, text, whatever it is. I'd love to talk to someone here online so we can help you through your own questions of how to match your talents to your career. After the break, we'll take some phone calls. Thank you for being here. This is David Trig Show. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere. So welcome back, everybody, to the David Trig Show and Goso TV. Here, Goso for the whole family. As I said, I've been just enjoying talking to people and being here with you and just simply helping you understand more about the beauty that is in you. And specifically today, talking about how to match your talents to your career. And so now on the line, I have a beautiful friend and a guest, Mother Nature. And we talked a little bit ago here on the stream about imagining having that old uncle or that neighbor that you bump into and you ask them, hey, I'm looking for a career change or I'm looking to adjust this and that. What do you see in me that maybe I don't see in myself? So Mother Nature, welcome to the show. Are you up for this?
I am. What is it that you see in me that I might not see in myself, neighbor?
All right. Well, hello, neighbor. Thank you for walking your dog. Do you have your pooper scooper, by the way?
I hope you do.
Let's start with that, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
you gotta stay clean. 6 feet away, man. 6 feet away.
that's right, exactly. Where's your freaking mask, right?
Right? Oh, man.
Oh, God.
It's a pleasure to be here with you, and thank you for accepting my call. You are a great person, and I appreciate you, my friend. I do.
Thank you, Mother Nature. It's fun to be here with you. Our first time talking, at least through voice. We've talked many times through text and through comments, but thank you for being here. It's a delight. So let's see. So how I've received you into my mind and heart is as a creative. I've seen your comments and your streams on YouTube. And I think that what I see on there is someone who wants to bless and heal people. You want to be a connector. You want to bring your life and your energy, your peace to other people. But I would say that what I have received the most, and this is the beauty of interacting, is your blessing personally, your gift of words, and your deep, I would say also emotion that you carry inside that perhaps you need someone to see you the way that you see other people. And so you are an empath, a creative. That's why we all gather here in this little Goso Nation TV show here. But I would say that, empaths, they give out of a reservoir. And sometimes that reservoir needs to be refilled. And so I think that what I would see in you is that God is preparing you to give even more, but you are probably at a place where you have to receive. And how do you receive when you are being moved around and you're going through pain? Well, that's where these relationships come in. And so I would say that what I see in you is someone who is going to give even more, but right now you need to receive even more. And I see a creative, I see a blessing through you. I see someone who is so willing and free to accept anyone. And that kind of energy requires a ton of love. And I'm sure there are many other people, we want to love and bless you because if you are filled, then you will fill the rest of this earth. And God wants to bless you in such a powerful way. And I want to be a part of that. I want this show to be a part of that because I know that you are always going to give. But if the tank is empty, then eventually it breaks down. And this year has been that way for so many of us. We all are broken down. We all are leaking something these days. Our tires are flat, or at least, they need a little more air. And the healing that you bring to others is a healing that you need to receive. And that, really, I guess maybe if I can say one more thing, that is already near you. It's all the healing that you need is already available to you, but we have to be recipients. The Bible says that we have to be like children, that the kingdom of God belongs to the children. We have to be childlike in our faith. And I think that for empaths, we have to be children again, who live in our joy, but also who say, Mommy, I fell. and who are vulnerable enough to receive love once again. And that's scary as hell these days because people seem to cut each other up in little pieces more than ever. But I don't believe that narrative. I believe that there are good people in this world, you being one of them, this show being another one, and that we just have to heal each other. And in some ways, this virtual space and not seeing each other and not judging each other per se, like we tend to, it's almost helpful because you're not seeing me as some liberal Californian or Christian evangelical Trump supporter, whatever people may think of me or me of someone else. Instead, we see each other as, I don't care what politics, you are a healer to me. And so I'm very thankful for the online kind of virtual space because it can tend to eliminate some of those barriers. I just simply want to bless you, and I want to be a part of your healing and your tank refill, your gas station clerk who comes to your car. And I think in some states they do that, right? Or they used to.
I was just going to say in Oregon, dude, don't let me put my own gas, okay? So, yeah, thank you, David. You're awesome, man.
So tell me about.
Not to get all emotional, no?
Well, tell me about what that. How does that resonate? What of that resonates?
100%. 100. You're entirely right. And to be honest, it was something I didn't even think of because I don't really have family anymore. I just have my daughters, and I'm only here in Oregon because it was honestly the only place I had to go, and believe it or not, it is because of YouTube. I know the lady, like we've known each other almost 3 years, and she offered me a place to go, and that's where I am, and it's because of YouTube that I had that relationship with her. And so I'm very grateful. YouTube has honestly changed my life. I never thought I would be the one saying I'm a YouTuber either, but everything that you said it's 100% correct in my opinion, and thank you for saying that. Like, that's why I'm trying not to be emotional because I don't get that. I'm normally the one that always gives it and just keeps giving because it helps me feel good to give and help other people feel better. Mm-hmm. When I saw you got back on your show right now, the timing is off, of course, because of lag and everything, but I saw you smiling, because it felt good to hear that you were doing something good. And I could just see it all over your face, and that's what I love to do, is help people feel good like that, and it doesn't come back to me. And so I truly do appreciate you saying any and all of it, for real. Thank you, David, because it means a lot, and it's correct, I'm just trying. I'm hanging on, but I'm trying, and you were brought in my path for a reason,
That's right.
And so I'm very grateful. Thank you, man.
Of course. And we're hanging on together, which is that's the beauty of hanging on. It's like I always think of Titanic and that beautiful.
I'll never let you go, David. No, I'm just kidding.
I know. We just went to Titanic. Everybody's literally leaving.
Sorry. Language. My bad.
Our numbers went from 2 to -20 just in those few seconds.
Right?
Oh, yeah. It's just crazy.
I'm not a singer.
I know. But the crazy thing about that last scene is, amidst all the blah blah, is those two seniors, that older couple that is going down in love. And we're not going down, but the part about love is what is beautiful to me. And in some ways, we are going down. Heck, this year we're all going down. But
we all have been, but it's in order to resurface us, to make it a shiny coat, a clear coat, so then it can be almost impenetrable for the next shit that's stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse my language. That's coming. I apologize.
That's fine. Now, the thing that I love most about that going down is most of us creatives, we imagine going down alone because, I don't know, some of our heroes, even Jesus was alone on the cross. But what I love about that scene at the end of my favorite movie, Titanic, is that this older couple they were loving each other. They were lying next to each other. And that's the beauty to me of this season. And yet what's missing. It's not happening. We're not going down together. We are going down.
People are scared.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's afraid. We don't know. We are creatures of habit, and we like certainty. We like the routine. We don't like to break that routine because then that's what makes us feel uncomfortable. Once we break that routine, that's when we're uncertain because we need certainty in our life to be certain of ourselves. And that's what's making everything all like thrown up in the air right now because we are not even allowed to do this, that, and the other thing when it comes down to it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's, in my opinion, that's what's causing a lot of this is the uncertainty. Because if we were certain in what we were able to even be able to do or produce or anything, like achieve, it would change a lot of our perspectives, you know,
Wow.
for sure.
And I love what you said about how YouTube changed my life, changed your life. It's the same thing for me as well. And I think this is the platform, or I don't know, this is the time to just to speak this way, that YouTube isn't about what people think it is. It's really about saving our lives. You know, like last week, my daughter, she's a YouTuber, and Jubilee, it's this like website or YouTube channel, called her to talk, her and I, about being biracial parents and being of two cultures as a mother, as a father and daughter. And I looked up a lot of the videos on there, and Isabella, she was telling me how all of her friends, like by millions, watch this channel. And I said, I wonder why. I went in there, and like one show, it was sons and their fathers. You have 3 sons and then 3 fathers in this room, like in this warehouse in LA. And then they ask, like they're all in a line, and they say, okay, which of you want to be like, no, which of you don't want to be like your father? Wow. And then, you know, like one guy stood up or stepped forward, and then one of the fathers also, you know, stepped forward, thinking of his own dad. And then they got those 2-3 guys in a circle, and they talked about it. And I realized this is literally saving people's lives, to see these guys heal and talk about their desires. And this is all online.
Yeah, I don't mean to interrupt, my friend, but the reason why it's so healing and so powerful is because in this society, today's age, men are not allowed to be emotional.
Wow.
It's not okay for a man to be emotional. And so when a man expresses his emotions in that manner, especially freely, it's powerful.
Wow.
Because it lets other people know it's okay. You're supposed to. You're allowed to feel. You're allowed to express those things, and you're supposed to actually talk about them. Because if you don't, you can't work through it, and it won't get better. You know, and so that's, in my opinion, that's why it's so powerful. Because today's age, men are not allowed to feel. You got to think about it like that. Like the guys have to be all macho. You know, they have to have moxie. They're not supposed to take anybody's crap. You know, and that's just my opinion, my viewpoint. You know, and I'm a female, and so. That's just how it is now. And in my opinion, if people were to accept that we all have feelings, we're all allowed to feel, and it's okay to feel, I think it would help a little bit, because then it would help everybody understand, like, hey, that person's just feeling right now. Give them a break, or if they need a little bit more help, let's help them, you know?
Wow.
So
that's so beautiful. I mean, hearing these young men and their fathers talk about their losses and how they love their fathers, but I wish maybe he had held me, or he had told me he loved me. And it wasn't like, you know, let's blame parents. It was more of just expressing what all of us feel. And I'm here like tearing up watching this, my phone, you know, like at 11 p.m. And I'm thinking, this is changing my life. Imagine a 20-year-old. It's changing their lives. And so this online space and what you are doing, Mother Nature, with your channel, not right now, maybe for you or me, but in season, in time, we will be blessings. We're already blessings every day. You're blessing me right now. But in terms of like, okay, that audience out there that we want to touch, it'll happen. But right now, it's us going down together. It's us being together and going down. I just mean for a moment in time until the joy comes back. And
well, I appreciate you letting me know that you're like on my side.
I'm on your side.
Or like in my corner, you know, like you got my back in a way. Because I'm not going to say there are people out there that care about me, but like I said, I don't only have family. I never had a dad. You know, to be honest, I don't put this out there often, but I'm just being real. I'm a product of a rape.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So growing up wasn't easy, man. And I have 4 little brothers. So I was the oldest and only girl. I grew up very young. And so when I see stories of dads and stuff, it gets me already because I wish I knew what it was like to have a dad. You know what I mean? Because I don't. And it's hard. It's hard. And then I'm raising my 2 daughters, and their dad isn't around, you know, and it makes me feel like I got a problem or something, but I'm not going to accept the behavior that I had to in order for them to have a father around like that. But they don't need that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, certain circumstances in life make it to where it is the way it is, but it's necessary so it helps build your character, you know, and I understand that it's just hard to go through it alone. And so I appreciate you saying something. That's why I say anything, because
That's right.
it, you know, it means a lot. That's why when I tell you, man, it really does mean a lot to me. Like you doing what you're doing, and then when I see you and your beautiful family online together, dude, I've cried. You don't even know. I've cried, man, because I wish not only that I could have that now, but I had that even as a child, you know? So keep doing that, man. You inspire a lot of people. Trust me.
God bless you. And I am in your corner, Mother Nature. I am with you. You can count on me. And I am here to be that encourager and to be a fellow, just a traveler and a fellow healer. And we are both looking to a greater God and a greater purpose than just us. And that's why there's so much hope. And we need people in our corner. And you know what? We need to say that to each other. We can't just dream it, think it, read it. We need to hear another human say, I am on your side. And that will change. I mean, we're changing the world right now, Mother Nature, because we're changing each other. You're changing me. I'm changing you. That means we just changed the world. Boom, there it is. Ghost of Nation right there. Ghost of Bell.
You know what? Change starts small. It always starts small. It's like a seed. When you plant a seed, it always is small. It's going to be very small normally, but it has the potential to be the biggest, most beautiful tree you've ever seen in your life. You know, but the potential is there. You just have to feed it the encouragement and all the love that it needs, and that's what we're doing. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I appreciate you giving. You know what I mean? So
absolutely. Me
keep
too.
on giving. So,
well, thank you.
May I say
yes,
hi
please.
to someone in your chat?
Yes, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming through. USA all day and Ed Wren. Awesome people. Thank you.
Good. Well, yes. Shout out to USA All Day and Ed Wren, Ghost of Bella right there. So good to have you guys. Thank you. Much love to you, Mother Nature. Let's do this all the time, right? Don't we need this?
Yes, man. I appreciate it for real. Like look, man, I just moved to Oregon, right?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out my internet situation because I live in the middle of nowhere, like seriously. And the internet here is still DSL, man. OMG.
Dude, 1995.
OMG, right? Yeah, homie, I'm like,
bro, what are you doing?
Right? Yahoo! No, I'm just kidding.
I'll send you a hotspot for Christmas.
Right? Thank you.
Oh, bro, you gotta get it together.
Yeah, so that's what I was doing, though. I already set up on my computer before I left California. I already set up a way to have people call in and be able to talk through my computer. You know what I mean? And do exactly what you're doing. So yeah, man. Just want to let you know we are on the same.
We are
wavelength.
Same
you know
wavelength.
What I mean?
We're in the same wavelength, and we're holding on to each other. And man, I'm gonna go watch Titanic right now.
You should. I think you need to. Never let you go, Jack.
Never let you go, Jack.
This has been great, David.
Dude,
it's been
I love you, Mother Nature.
God's
grace to you. Love you too.
I do mean it.
I mean it too. Thank you. You are real.
Awesome people.
God love
keep
you.
On keep on what you're doing, because
thank you.
You were something that I honestly respected in there because of your drive. The drive that you have is incredible, and I hope that it inspires more people to have it just the same. So keep on doing what your family friends. And
Thank you.
Tip in the shizzle. I even said it appropriately. Tip in the shizzle.
Good.
All right.
I'm here for you. Bye-bye, Mother Nature. Much love to you.
Later, David.
Okay,
Take
later.
care, man.
Bye. So there you have it, my dear friends. My goodness, that's what we're here to do, right? Man, do I have a clap button here somewhere? I need to have one, because that is what this is all about. And what a perfect moment with Mother Nature, my dear friend. We've been YouTuber buddies for, I don't know, a year or so. And just what a joy. She has blessed me. She talks about what this show has meant to her, but really she has, when I had like 0 people watching my 3-hour beat making stream, she would be the one sharing that stream to her friends and followers. And once again, big shout out to Ed Wren and to USA All Day, and to anyone who might be watching this maybe on a replay afterwards. But what a wonderful thing to just start the day with, right? It's only 10 a.m. Wow, aren't you ready to go and change the world? I think the big takeaway, besides that I'm a Titanic nerd, we're all having an honest moment here today, that the idea of being together in this going down, and I don't like necessarily that phrase, we're not like sinking, but you know what I mean, right? We can't deny that we are in some way sinking here. I think even just admitting that, I do feel like we are sinking not into oblivion, not into death, not into despair, but in some ways, yes. This is the death of what we knew. This is oblivion or this is the end of what we've known. And it is scary. We don't know if we're going to be floating on some plank out there and someone's going to rescue us. We don't know if we're going to actually be saved by anybody. But what we do know, whether it's Jack and his girl or whether it's the 2 viejitos, we do know that someone is next to us. And Mother Nature, I just bless you. I love you, and as well as your team here, your friends, because I feel embraced. And I know that here, Goso TV, and what we offer here, we're doing the same thing for you and for the audience. So this is a wonderful moment to really describe what we're all about, what we need, and to really promote love, and to promote love more and more. We're all tired of what got us here. What got us here isn't going to help us get there. And we have to come together. Yesterday I was talking to a group of my community leaders, spiritual leaders, and someone was basically saying, you know what, I haven't been really connected to you guys. I've been connecting somewhere else. And I felt hurt. I felt, I don't know, just kind of like thrown to the curb. She's one of my good friends, and she's basically not following us anymore. But at the end of the whole hour, I finally calmed down in my mind. Thankfully I didn't say anything. The group was just talking. But all along I was saying, okay, Lord, what is my response here? At the end of the whole time, I just addressed the whole group and I said, in some ways, all of us are going elsewhere. Whether it's me going to fear, or whether it's someone going to workaholism, or another person going to anger or to drugs or booze or whatever, right? Every one of us, we're all, again, sinking or going somewhere else. And so I said, I don't judge you, one of my friends there last night, for going somewhere else and checking out other churches. Instead, what I want to call you back to is to love. We love you. I love you. And at the at the end of the whole conversation, she didn't really say anything, but I could tell that she was saying, I want to be back. I want to come back. And her husband was there, and all of us were there, and I could just see. I couldn't really see her because she was not off camera, but I could feel that she felt bad, I guess, although that wasn't my intent. And I think sometimes that is even awkward and maybe important at times to confess or to just simply be honest. But she said, I want this love. And this morning I woke up thinking about her and her husband this morning, and I thought, man, I don't want to lose them. And I was thinking, I'm glad that we ended saying, come back to love. And what I said is the name of our church is NCF. And I said, you know what, NCF may not be open. NCF may not be as amazing as that other mega church down the street with 30,000 people and a TV studio that's $1 million. They may not have We may not be, I'm not that guy who has, back to this whole thing, thousands and millions of followers. But I said NCF is in the heart. Our church, our spiritual community is in here. And I said, and that's what we're doing here. And this is the same thing for this show. It doesn't matter that we all have other places. I mean, we all go to places to get our content, our encouragement. But wherever there's love, if there's anything I've noticed, and I learned this from kitty cats back in Nicaragua when I was a little boy. I remember my mom and then my grandma, when I was here in Long Beach, they would always put out milk. I mean, this is the classic like cartoon scene. And I remember this one lady especially, she had like, I don't know, it felt like 300,000 cats. It must have been like 4. And guess what? Every time that my mom or my grandma would put out a little bit of milk out there in a little cup, these little gatitos, they would come because of that love, because of that milk. Man, it's that simple, isn't it? I think we've regressed to the simplicity that we have lost, that we had lost. We needed to regress to just being those gatitos, looking for that warm milk. I think it was cold back in those days, but anyway, whatever. And, as I said, the Bible calls it, let the children come to me because theirs is the kingdom of heaven. The disciples were arguing, typical, right, over who's number one. Can you believe it? So 2020, the disciples, the spiritual leaders are fighting among themselves over who's the best, who's going to be in the positions of power. And Jesus, it says there in that beautiful scene, he gathers the children. My goodness. Woo. My stomach is like this with emotion right now. And he says, let the children come to me. And they literally approached and touched the Savior of the world. And they said, because theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Now, what does the kingdom of heaven mean? Love, peace, unity, direction, guidance, gozo bell right there. And so if we are going to survive this going down, this sinking, this abyss, this, as Joseph Campbell calls it, this abyss is what he calls it, right? Yeah, death and rebirth. I have it right here. We can't do this alone. This one man show thing has to die forever. We have to completely just obliterate this one man show, this self-made millionaire thing, this self-made woman who can carry 4 kids on her back and work 80 hours and make a homemade meal for the husband. I mean, seriously, like, who is that? And I think we've maintained that idea here in the West for a long time, right? The American dream and then the online space. Now we have to be like those kitty cats, like those children touching the mantle of the Savior. And what is the Savior? Of course, is presence. It's Jesus. But it also, that's why Jesus says, this is my body. Oh man, this is beautiful. He looked at his own body, his physical body. He didn't say that cross is my body. He didn't say even, I don't know, my spirit is my, he said this, like physically, this is my body. And he said, which is broken for you. And so what that means, Daisy, my dog, speaking of, is that we have to embody love. We have to touch each other, or like my beautiful friend, Mother Nature, we have to hear each other. I mean, could you hear the beauty in her voice? I had never heard her until right now, and neither, I guess she has heard me. I mean, I have heard her, through YouTube, but I mean like, quote, in person until this moment. I could feel her love. I could feel her longings. That's what Jesus says, this is my body broken for you. Do this in remembrance of me. And so somehow it's not that difficult. And that's why there's so much hope, because it's about us giving in to love. It's about us surrendering to love. It's about us confessing and repenting of the who's first, who's number one, and to actually hear the love in Mother Nature's voice. I'm crying inside. I'm just hanging on right now, trying not to just give in to what I'm really feeling in my gut here, in my chakra, here in my stomach. And that in me is saying, this is it, man. This is the way forward. But if I can just simply say it through just this show, this is the way forward. This is love. This is love embodied. What does Jesus say? He says, and what is love? People were asking him. He says that you love one another. That is love, that you love one another. And whether you are a spiritual person or an atheist or whatever it is, we all have this tendency to do things alone out of many reasons, shame, fear, anger, whatever it may be. But this idea, and Mother Nature said it perfectly, that we have to have each other's back. That idea is such a beautiful human idea and emotion. The more creative and the more, genius-like that we are, and those of us who are creatives, we think we're so amazing, right? Catch the love bug. That's right, Ed. We think we can do it, right? We're the superheroes. We're the hero's journey, right? The hero, even in Joseph Campbell's thing, walks alone, just with a backpack and a stick. But I think there's a flaw to that, and I'm sure he would say that, and I'm sure it's not just about being alone, but I guess the truth is that we walk this journey with others. It seems like these last few years, certainly this year, has forced us to realize how empty we are, how alone, man. I think I was telling my wife last night, Rochelle, I was on the couch and she had just come home from being out with her friends and safely, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, man, I don't have any friends. And then I finally realized that she, of course, is my friend. And that me just telling her about my emptiness was my healing. And, when I'm laying next to her, and she's asleep or on my phone, or I'm making a bead next to her on my computer, I will just reach and just hold her shoulder. And literally that energy of this beautiful Minnesotan woman, that grew up in Minnesota and was raised in Garden Grove, California. This woman with those gorgeous blue eyes and that beautiful dark hair. Not to be TMI here, but it just moves me. Yeah, moves me. And it fills me with emotion, with love. And then it was interesting, even as I was telling Mother Nature about the whole thing with Jubilee. If you want to check out Jubilee, it's this YouTube channel. It has, 2.9 million followers. And how my daughter and I, it's supposed to be this weekend, but with all this craziness, we don't know if it's going to happen. But sometime we're going to be on that show. What a blessing, if it happens, to talk about being a biracial family. And I don't even know what we're going to talk about, but just watching some of those videos, as I said, about these sons and their fathers, it was, and my daughter Isabella, was asking her, tell me, because I've seen some videos, but not as many, obviously, as she has. And I said, why do you like that so much? I'm your friend, David. I understand. I feel the same. Oh, yeah, of course. No, of course, yeah. We need more than just one friend, my dear Mother Nature. We need each other. We need a community. But what I was saying is that I was asking her, what do you love? And she's like, Papi, she calls me Papi. She said, this is literally changing and saving people's lives. And I realized why. I try to do it through this space and through my spiritual community. And she's finding her peace, my daughter, as well as all her friends. She has all her little posse that they've known each other since they were like in third grade or first grade. They're being saved. We all need salvation through Jubilee.com or whatever that channel is. Because she says of the vulnerability. And I'm telling you, I'm a vulnerable guy, but when I was watching some of these men like my age talking about their fathers, and I've been through 20,000 hours of counseling, I thought, oh boy, do I really want to do this in front of 2.9 million people? And guess what? I do want to. And if we ever get on that show, then I'll send you the link. But even if it doesn't, if we never get on there, then just go on there. Mother Nature, shared very beautifully about her own need, for father, right? My own need. I grew up without my father as well. I didn't see him from about 11 years old, 12 years old till he passed away. I only saw him maybe once or twice in those 30 years. I mean, that messes up a son, especially, 12, 13 years old. And yeah, you could say all the things about God being my father, about life and purpose being my father, but father is father. And yet I carry that scar, as Henry Nouwen would say, to be a wounded healer. Even though the world wants to teach us to hide that wound, the great spiritual masters, they teach us to carry those wounds. That's why Jesus, at the end, when he came back to life, he showed Thomas his wounds. And even though we consider that a doubt lesson, or a lesson on doubt, it was a lesson on wounding. He said, the Savior of the world is wounded. And so there's something about us as saviors needing to be wounded, needing to show our wounds, Jesus could have said, hi, I'm back. Don't look at my wounds. But instead he said, look at my wounds, Thomas. Look at my wounds. And so this is in some ways what we just experienced with Mother Nature. I bless you. I love you, Mother Nature, for showing us your wounds. Because that's where Thomas said, he said in that moment, man, this is just powerful. When Jesus showed his wounds, it says that Thomas fell and worshiped him. And he said, Lord, my Lord. And so that's what happens when we show our wounds. After we die, after we hang on a cross, after we are spit upon and mocked and thrown to the curb and even left by his own Father. And we show our wounds to those around us that love us but don't maybe believe. They fall on their knees and they say, wow, maybe there is hope for me as well. So beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. After the break, we're going to just take one more little break here. Let's all take a break. Let's all get some water. Let's all go for a run or take a nap. Is it too early for vodka? And let's come back after the break. Let's do one more little segment. This is the David Trig Show. Goes for the whole family. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back, my dear friends, to the David Trig Show. Gosa for the whole family. Thank you again for being here. I got some coffee, or is it coffee? I want to do a little review of kind of where we're headed next here for the rest of the year, and some of the things that I'm pursuing to maybe be an example to you. Speaking of skill and talent, so as I said, my partner and I, my business partner, she and I are just on fire. You know, it's been a crazy year, but we believe that live streaming and podcasting is the way forward. And we're working with a ton of entrepreneurs. She is a networker. She's amazing at that. I am great at this, and she's amazing in networking and connecting with a million people. She is the ultimate extrovert. I am introvert, and when needed, I will come out of my shell and do my thing. And so she is extremely gifted at connecting. And so we have all of these entrepreneurs. Some of them are Spanish speakers, some of them are English speakers, all different kinds. I'm in this group that she invited me to be a part of, and so I've been in there just encouraging people. So we're launching this whole podcast movement. I don't know what it is. Packages, I guess, 3, 6, and 12-month layers. And she's amazing at helping me frame just kind of how to help people. And, she's been through all kinds of trainings that I've been through as well. But as I said, she just knows how to make it all work. And she just feeds me basically all of my little cues of what to say and not to say, but what to put on the website and how to package things. And she's going to go and sell them. And so, and it's been great because even yesterday, I think it was, I have a beautiful friend from Alabama, I think is where he lives. I met him here in LA, but he moved to Alabama recently. And he is, he's working with Central American coffee makers. Shout out to Nicaragua and all of my Salvadorian, Hondureños, and all of my Central American friends. Shout out. Viva Centroamérica. Viva México también. And he's working with coffee makers. And so he called me yesterday, and he hasn't had any money coming in, but he's saying, hey, Trig, I'd like to work with you again, and let's work something out. And then last night, speaking of my group last night, at the end of our little session, then one of my friends, one of my key leaders, he also has some gear in his house. And we were just talking about, 2021 and about media. And he said that he'd like to be a part of the Goso Planet Network, of the Goso Network, and start his own podcast. And so he texted me this morning, like at 6 a.m. He gets up at 4. And he said, hey, Trig, when are you doing your next podcast movement or Goso Nation training? I'd like to be a part of that. So it's crazy. I honestly have been trying to see traction for maybe 4 years in this area. And I've had some traction, but, just little small drip and little things. And this is not like Bill Gates billionaire move here. But you have to know yourself, right? I don't look for money. I don't think there's anything wrong with people that are pursuing money. But, there are the 4 M's of motivation: mating, which is relationships, social. There is mastery, to be the best at something. I think that's me. There is movement. You want to be free. You want to be able to move around the country, right? And then there is money or materialism or material things. And none of them are evil. They all can have, of course, they can go sideways. But I'm motivated more out of wanting to be the best at something. And that has its shadow part. But when I come on here or when I work with people, I really want to improve their lives and make them into the best version of themselves. And so when my friend called, I said, dude, I would love to. And he sees, I said, why do you keep calling me? I said, and he's like, man, because you're the best. And of course that feeds me, because when someone sees who we are, we want to only do that even more for them. And so these are the things for you to think about as we head into this next season here is, what are you motivated by? Is it mastery? Is it movement? Is it mating? Is it material things? And sometimes it's 1 and 2, sometimes I'm motivated out of mating as well, meaning relationships. That's, I know, a funny word, but you know what I mean, is that social part that wants to connect with people, and that really is better when you are with others. Maybe I have a friend that I coach. She's a nutritionist and physical trainer, and she's motivated by movement. And so for her, it's not money. It's not finding a man. She's single. It's, I want to be free, she says. I want to be able to travel, explore the world once things open up. And so it's important for all of us as creatives and empaths and healers to know ourselves in terms of motivation, because that guides you. So if something, for example, in my case, is if I partner with someone who is pursuing money, that might be a good partnership to me. But if it's not in my top two, it may not be that good of a partnership, because then that spirit is going to cloud my spirit. And so you want to partner with people that have the same or the first two kind of priorities that are similar, that you connect with, even if they're inverted, but you can have, let's say, a mating and a money person come together, like in a marriage. I would say for my beautiful wife, which of those would be her thing? I would say it's meaning. If I was to add a fifth one, for her, it's about, she's an Enneagram 1. And so for her, it's about reforming and making things better and about changing the system. So it's meaning for her. And for me, as I said, it's mastery. And so when we come together and she refines my why and I help her to think bigger than maybe just today, it's magic. And that's why our marriage is successful, 25 years. And we work and we love each other as partners and as one. And so in business, you want to do the same thing. You want to have business partners or coaches or people that you let into your life be partners to you, be complements to you, and be tested together. My business partner and I, we've been tested. We've gotten angry at each other. We have quit each other, as they say. And then we come back saying, I'm sorry, I need you. Or we don't quite do that. We're both very strong personalities. But we'll say, okay, let's try it again. We're better together, aren't we? We're like, yeah, we are. So we're offering that. As far as healing and, I think that's an onward journey, an inward and ongoing journey for me. My mind has been clouded these last few weeks, maybe months. Just anxiety runs high in my body, and I don't always exercise and eat as healthy, and that's why I had a physical trainer. But what I'm trying to do is more than conversation, which is my go-to, is to move my body. And so 2 days ago, I went to Lowe's and picked up some doorknobs, and I'm changing them around the house today. I had a call. This is maybe more typical stuff, but I had a call with my mentor yesterday. He's a coach that I have, that he and I go over all of my both spiritual and media goals and personal as well. Then last night I had, as I said, that Zoom call with my team. That was amazing. But I need more, like hearing Mother Nature was so beautiful to me. Again, thank you. Just because it's emotional, it moves us, it connects us. And I think that as much as we've all enjoyed, if you're like me, this isolation, man, I am done isolating. I am toast. It's I think it's run its course in my body, in my emotions. I'm sure it's the same thing for you. And this can be dangerous. I mean, I've had people here call and say that they are at the end of the rope. And so I don't mean dangerous as that sounds, but I mean, these are real issues is my point. And this idea, like Mother Nature said, of having each other's back is so important. I grew up in a war-torn country of Nicaragua, and even though I didn't go to war, war was at my doorstep. I was too young. I was 10. They tried to draft me, even though I was only 10, 11, and that's why I left. But I saw this idea of having each other's back because I saw tanks, yes, tanks, rolling down my street. I lived in downtown Managua, and these men in these tanks literally were back to back, because that's how you go into a unsafe zone. You don't have eyes in the back of your head, so you have to have someone there with their gun and their M50 or whatever those matralletas were, F-16s? Yeah, F-16s, are those airplanes? And anyway, M50s are the big ones. M32s, I forget now. Thankfully, I don't remember all that stuff. But these men were back to back with all their camouflage and their cascos and their metralletas. And that's a violent example, a horrible example. That's not, I don't even ever want to go back to that. But in some ways, that's what comes to mind in terms of this time. is there is an enemy out there, which sometimes it's ourselves, sometimes it's the perception of fear, sometimes it definitely is satanic forces and demonic influences, sometimes it's the man in the mirror. But whatever your enemy is, it's a common enemy. And we are surrounded by this mist of war. And we have to, I don't like war language. As I said, I really don't like any of that language of war, and I hate cancer or fuck cancer, because it's violent, and I have that too much in me to talk that way. But the idea of being there for each other, having each other's back, is very real to me, but in a loving way, in a way to be there for each other. Maybe another better picture that I think of that is also very painful is when my beautiful second mother passed away. I was raised by my grandmother here in Long Beach since I was 10, 11, 12 years old. And she passed away about 20 years ago now, 15 years ago. Rest in peace, abuelita. Amanda Gutierrez, mi abuelita, en el cielo. And so when we buried her, it was pouring rain here in Cypress, California. And my mom, I remember, my beautiful mom, she had her hand on the casket as they were lowering it in the middle of the rain. And my aunt, her sister, put her hand on my mom's back. And I don't know if I took the picture or someone, I have that picture in my mind as well as somewhere in the computer. And that's another beautiful picture that I think of when we talk about having each other's backs, is in the middle of this loss, of this painful situation, of the ultimate loss and maybe defeat. My mom was touching, reaching out to her mother, right, who was gone. And yet her sister had her back, and she had her, oh man. I think that's what it needs to look like, right, these days. It has to be that real. If you're not in a real relationship these days, and I mean YouTube real, okay, like you just saw with Mother Nature, that's as real as it gets, then just open your hands. Like Ed here said, I thank you, Ed, for the beautiful comment. You said to, where was it? I'm going to read some of these beautiful comments here. So thanks, Ed, of course. Hello from San Diego, here via Mother Nature. Yeah, blessings to you, Ed. So I want to read these comments. It says, thanks, Ed, Mother Nature. I love my emotions. That's right, Ed. Much love, Ed. Awesome. Thank you, David. Same to you. Gratitudinal experience. It can be that simple, right? Thank you. Catch the love bug. Yeah, that's right. That's the one I wanted to read, Ed. I love the catch the love bug. Thanks for being here, Ed. I appreciate you, homie. Joseph Campbell. Yeah. His talks are incredible. I'm your friend, Anderson, for listening. Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure, my nature. Right, David. Allow the wounds to heal. That's the one I also wanted to read. Thank you, Ed. That's a beautiful one. Allow the wounds to heal. You need to call in, Ed, and we can have a conversation about that idea. And because I think that's a very powerful, as I said, Henry Nouwen, one of my heroes, he was a Catholic priest. I think he was homosexual. We're not really sure. You kind of hid those things back then more than now. And but he left his Harvard education and his beautiful church and all of his stuff to become a therapist or just a helper at this Center for People with Disabilities. It was called LARC in Toronto, Canada. And he talked a lot about becoming a wounded healer and wounding or healing those wounds. LOL, 5 o'clock somewhere. Yeah, indeed, Ed. Cheers, buddy. I'm in a mall parking lot. My youngest is playing. Oh, that's beautiful, Ed. Oh, wow. That's beautiful. Applying for her first job. Wow. Very beautiful milestone. Congrats. Good luck to her when you both. Wish you both the best. It's awesome. My daughter wants to get a job. She's 50 and a half. Yeah. Viva la raza. Así es. Yes, my youngest turned 17 in October. I want to create a platform to host other people's. Yep. Ed, my youngest 12. Yeah, that's right. Sam, always a good word for you, bro. Thank you, Sam, by the way. Yeah, my beautiful friend Sam from Colorado. Shout out to those Rockies out there. Always a good word for you, my brother. Yes, I love you too, Sam. Sam and I are musicians, fellow collaborators, worshipers of our Lord Jesus Christ. And he's an amazing percussionist, plus. So big shout out and love to you, my brother Sam. It's exactly what I said, trying to help people be the best. That's right. Yeah. Ed, you've been around since the beginning. Congratulations, David. No, thank you, pimping that is. That's right. Yeah. We need to elevate each other. Yeah, rest in peace. Gracias por mi abuelita. I agree. Call in Ed. Yeah, I know. I've done an interview with Ed. Okay, great. Okay, that would be great. I would love to do that, Ed. And also, what's our other partner's name? Mother Nature. He's a musician right at night, and he produces. When I go on like at 11, he's there usually and always just being kind. And we talk about a lot of things online, and love to help him too, or to be mutual support to each other. Beautiful. Well, I think I'm going to wrap this up, my dear friends. This is a beautiful, beautiful moment in time, isn't it? Here, December 4th, Friday, December 4th. Shout out to all of my friends, to Ed from San Diego, to Mother Nature up in Oregon, to my brother Sam in Colorado, and to anyone who may be watching this, USA all day, and anyone who may be watching this on the replay, on demand. Thank you for being here. We love you. Gracias por estar aquí. Remember, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. And as we like to say here, though there's pain in the night, gozo comes in the morning. Thank you for being here, my dear friend. Much love to you. Remember, we're here every day, Monday through Friday, whenever, about 9 a.m. usually Pacific. Tune in, share those with your friends, subscribe to my channel, and also look forward to some of these packages that my friend, my business partner, and I are putting together, coming out in the next few weeks. Go to davidtrig.com, davidtrig.com. I'll put it in the chat here. So you can, if you want to amplify or improve or just simply see what we're doing, you can go to that website and look at some of our packages and some of our coaching that we do in terms of how to use live streaming and podcasting to build a second income stream and to get your message out there. Thank you for being here, and I will see you next time. Adios de la pasta.